Hello and welcome to the World News on VOP TV. I am Esther Arimuwem. We begin the world news with Catalonia former Separatist leader Carlos Puigdemont leaving the Belgium a day after briefly appearing at a rally in Barcelona and evading a massive manhunt and an arrest warrant in Spain. Puigdemont's lawyer Gonzalo Boy told Catalan radio today that his client had fled abroad again without giving details. His joint party general election, Jordi Turull, told newsmen that Puigdemont had arrived in Spain on Tuesday night and left yesterday evening to head back to his home in Waterloo, where he has lived for 7 years in self-imposed exile since leading a failed bid to Catalonia's secession in 2017. The 61-year-old former leader delivered a speech to thousands of supporters gathered in Barcelona near Parliament yesterday and then disappeared. A top Spanish judge demanded explanations from police and the government about how Puigdemont was about to return to Spain and vanish again without arrest. Judge Pablo Larena asked the Military of Interior for details of its plan to arrest him at the border, as well as the orders that were issued to capture the politician after his escape, according to documents made public by the Supreme Court. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida today cancelled his planned 4-day trip to Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, and Mongolia as the country's weather agency issued its first ever alert over the risk of a possible Nankai Toro megaquake. After attending a ceremony in Nagasaki marking the 79th anniversary of atomic bombing, Kishida told reporters that he cancelled the trip to focus on the government's response and information dissemination regarding a potential megaquake. The Japan Meteorological Agency issued its Nankai Toro earthquake extra information for the first time yesterday evening, warning that the risk of a potential massive earthquake around the Nankai Toro that runs along the Pacific coast has increased. The advisory does not recommend evacuation but calls for reviewing routine quake preparedness and staying alert for about a week. The JMA issues such warnings when abnormal phenomena are observed along the Nankai Toro or when the possibility of an earthquake is believed to have increased, according to the Cabinet Office. The Japanese government has previously said there is a 70% to 80% chance of a magnitude 8 to 9 quake occurring along the Nankai Toro could lead to a tsunami of over 30 meters and together cause up to 320 deaths, according to a government estimate in 2012. The first such advisory was released just hours after a magnitude 7.1 earthquake hit the country's southwestern prefecture of Miyazaki on Thursday afternoon. Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro has ordered a 10-day ban on social media platform X amid an uproar in the country over a disputed election, accusing X owner Elon Musk of inciting hate and fascism. Maduro yesterday said he signed a resolution presented by telecommunication regulator Conatel, which has decided to take social network X, formerly known as Twitter, out of circulation for 10 days. Maduro said following a march by pro-government groups that Elon Musk is the owner of X and has violated all the rules of the social media network itself. Election authorities declared Maduro the winner of the July 28 election with 51.2% of votes, but have yet to release detailed results. It said opposition candidate Edmundo González Urata, who has been leading in opinion polls, got 44.2%. The announcement led to widespread accusation of fraud, which also spread across social media. Protests from Venezuelans nationwide and abroad broke out, demanding Maduro step down and honor a win by González. The leaders of the United States, Egypt, and Qatar jointly demanded Israel and Hamas return to stalled talks on the war in Gaza next week, saying yesterday that only the details of carrying out a ceasefire and hostage release remains to be negotiated. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office yesterday said, pursuant to the proposal by the U.S. and the mediators, Israel will join on 15 August, send a negotiation team to a place to be determined in order to finalize the details of the implementation of the framework agreement. U.S. President Joe Biden, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, and Qatari Emir Tamim al-Thani, mediators in indirect negotiations to end 10 months of devastating war in Gaza, set the talks for August 15 to take place in either Doha, Qatar, or Cairo. A senior U.S. official speaking to reporters to discuss the push by mediators said only 4 or 5 areas of disagreement over implementation remained to be resolved between the two opponents. The official cited the timing of a planned swap of Palestinian detainees held by Israel and hostages held by Hamas as an example. Egypt, the U.S., and Qatar said they have a proposal ready to present at next week's talk to resolve the remaining issues. You're still watching the World News on VOP TV. More stories coming up after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thanks for staying tuned. Iran executed at least 36 prisoners in the space of 24 hours, the New York-based Center for Human Rights in Iran, CHRI, reported on Wednesday. According to the Norway-based non-profit Iran Human Rights, the killings included the group execution of 26 men in Gezel Esar prison. According to IHR, group executions of this size are unprecedented in the last 2 decades. IHR said Iran has executed at least 87 people since the run-off round of Iran's presidential election in early July, which resulted in the victory of Masoud Pezeshkian. Today, a series of drone strikes targeted the Russian military airfield on the outskirts of Lipsk, igniting a massive fire and triggering explosions at an ammunition depot on the base. The incident was reported by the defense publication Military. The drone attack caused significant damage, leading to widespread fires and multiple explosions within the airfield. The Lipsk region's emergency situation ministry confirmed the fire at the military airfield. Residents in the vicinity reported that the ammunition depot was burning and detonating with powerful explosion. The local authorities declared a state of emergency in the Lipsk municipal district and initiated the evacuation of residents from nearby villages. Meanwhile, Russia's Ministry for Emergencies declared the situation in the Kursk region a federal-level emergency today, 4 days after hundreds of Ukrainian troops poured over the border in what appeared to be Kyiv's biggest attack on Russian soil since the war began. Social services and civil associations are providing assistance to people forced to flee their homes by the fighting. The last Russian figures for evacuations in Kursk was 3,000. Little reliable information about the surprise Ukrainian operation has emerged, and the strategic aims are unclear. Ukrainian officials have refused to comment specifically about the incursion, which is taking place about 320 miles southwest of Moscow. But a top advisor to Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said yesterday that the border region attacks will cause Russia to start to realize that the war is slowly creeping inside of Russian territory. The assault came as the Ukrainian army tries to hold at bay an intense Russian push at places on the front line in eastern Ukraine, especially in the Donetsk region. Donald blamed the U.S. ambassador in Islamabad and Amir Khurram, Pakistan's Minister for State and Frontier Region, expressed their commitment to work together with the international community to develop a sustainable solution for the Afghan refugee crisis. The two sides also emphasized the need for creating favorable conditions in Afghanistan to facilitate the repatriation of Afghan refugees. According to reports, Mukwam also called for an expansion of U.S. aid to support the communities in Pakistan that are hosting Afghan refugees. The discussions during the meeting covered a range of topics, including the overall welfare of Afghan refugees and avenue for enhancing bilateral cooperation between the two countries. Ambassador Blum commended Pakistan for its long-standing role in hosting millions of Afghan refugees, acknowledging the country's significant humanitarian efforts. The meeting comes at a time when Pakistan, according to the United Nations, has deported around 600,000 undocumented Afghan migrants since November 2023. A Philippine court has ordered the country's corporate regulator to restore the license of Rappler, a media firm led by Nobel laureate Maria Ressa, who reported on former President Rodrigo Duterte's campaign against illegal drugs. The Court of Appeals, in a decision dated July 23 that was seen today, had lauded orders and decisions of the Philippine Securities and Exchange Commission to shut down the online news site. The Securities and Exchange Commission did not immediately respond to a request for comments. The SEC in 2018 rescinded the operating license of Rappler for violating foreign equity restriction on domestic media when it sold depository rights to a foreign entity. The decision was upheld in 2022. The appellate court said the SEC acted with grave abuse of discretion in revoking Rappler's certificate of incorporation. Ressa is currently on bail after being convicted in 2020 in a cyber libel case. She has appealed the decision to the country's top court. The U.S. has indicted a Nashville native for allegedly helping North Korean IT workers obtain remote employment with foreign companies by posing as an American citizen. In a press release announcing the charges yesterday, the Department of Justice accused 38-year-old Matthew Isaac Nutt of participating in the year-long scheme to help the workers generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of Pyongyang's nuclear ambition. According to the indictment, the U.S. national participated in a complex operation that involved hosting company laptops at his residence, installing unauthorized software to facilitate access and comprising to launder payments to accounts tied to North Korean and Chinese actors. North's laptop farm scheme allegedly defrauded U.S. media, technology, and financial companies of hundreds of thousands of dollars as part of North Korea's broad operation, using highly skilled IT workers spread across the world to raise illicit funds. Coming up is global business, entertainment, and sports stories. Do stay with us.
Catch up with the latest topics making the buzz, the stories that tick, the trends. Let's let you in on why they are trending, from politics, entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. Analyzing the trending stories with top eyeballs. Hashtag on Voice of the People Television, giving you an insight to everything and everyone Nigeria is talking about. Showing on VOP TV, 10 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hashtag if it's trending, we bring it on.
Channing Tatum and fiancée Zoe Kravitz have made their first official red carpet debut together 3 years after they began dating. The engaged pair stunned at the Los Angeles premiere for their film Blink Twice, which is Zoe Kravitz's first movie as a director, yesterday, and they posed together in matching semblance. That 5-year-old Kravitz went for a simple yet elegant floor-length black gown with a side cut-out, while for 4-year-old Tantum kept Teams classic in a black suit with a white shirt. In sports, world record holder and former world champion Toby Amusan crashed out a women's 100-meter hurdles at the Olympics on Friday as defending champions Jasmine Camacho Quinn sailed into the final. Amusa shocked the world in 2022 when she set a world record of 12.12 seconds on her way to victory at the World Champions League champions in Evasion. But the 27-year-old was way off that sort of pace on Friday and could only finish third in a heat behind Grace Stark of the USA and the Bahamas' Debney Charlton in 12.55 seconds. That time was not good enough to secure passage into the final as one of the fastest losers. Amusan, who successfully appealed against a doping ban earlier this year after she was accused of missing 3 doping tests, did not speak after her elimination. Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag faces a defensive headache as injuries continue to plague his side's preparation for Saturday's Community Shield clash with rival Manchester City. United are set to be without defenders Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Luke Shaw, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka for the new season's curtain raiser, which pits the Premier League champions against the FA Cup winners. In addition, centre-back Lisandro Martinez only rejoined the squad this week after taking part in Argentina's successful defense of its Copa America crown this summer. FA Cup winners United go into the Community Shield this week seeking to win the title for a record extending 22nd time. And that's a wrap on the world news on VOP TV. Many thanks for watching. I am Esther Arimurum. Good afternoon.